Is Eric mid nose pick or a mustache twirl?
Sometimes you get these like weird memory leaks that like pop up, and then when you
Noted.
back,
Noted.
Are we loud? Are we live on a new
How
one?
many FPS?
how many frame? More than
More
one
than
frame.
one. All right.
24? 30?
All right.
Give me 30.
We got to spam this link in the.
Heard 30's the best.
Yeah, let's get everybody ported over and let's put it in the Discord as well.
It was fun in the chat. I was having fun.
Oh, the chat was vibing,
Please
man.
come back.
I got a shout out. It was nice.
Yeah.
They love me. The people.
The people love me.
Hold on, let me drop.
What's it from?
My grandma. My
I love you. Love you. Remember that.
Amit was over.
Just like people's man.
Amit was over one time at my grandma's house. We just had to pick something up, and she's like, this is like her trademark. But
Oh, just kidding.
she
I
has
got
her
logged
arms
out
out.
of
She's like,
Discord.
the people,
So
they love me.
We've said it so many times. I thought it was
I'm
from
gonna
a
need you
movie.
to drop that link, Jordan. Said I got logged out of Discord, so I'm gonna need you to drop that link, I guess.
Your life's in shambles, dude.
You logged out of Discord.
It's because like you should have seen the hoops I was jumping through this morning,
To
like
get
trying to
get the NFT going.
yeah, and like I'm trying to integrate the damn guild bot and everything, and
And
like I
people are having trouble.
literally took the call. I was in like a levered long on the 1 minute chart, and I'm just like, well, what could happen in like 4 minutes? And then like in the middle of the call, like all my notifications start going off, and I'm just like, sorry guys, and I just left. And
That's appropriate, right? When you're lever long and you need to
yeah, I was
exit.
I liked your comment. Like, I'm in all these fucking positions, and I'm sitting here changing Discord titles or whatever.
All right.
You put it in the lounge.
Oh man. Wait, are we live right now? Yeah. All right.
Ben live.
Big things are happening.
Nicholas,
Let's get some people over.
welcome back.
Oh, thank you, sir. It's good to be back. It's funny because like the people watching know we're all friends.
Do they?
They do. I think they do.
Okay.
We're all good friends. But this is actually the first time we've all hung out, all four of us, in
It's
a
been
long
so
time.
long, yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
I don't even know what's going on.
I'm hired talent. I don't know what you're talking
You
about.
kind of are.
Yeah.
Big time.
I'm hired.
I'm
Just meeting you guys.
I've apparently been retired for 3 weeks, so just trying
Yeah.
to like
How was that?
How'd that feel?
felt good.
Did you put the lappy away?
No.
No.
He can't.
No, obviously not.
I did a few things.
Yeah.
A few pops on there.
But did you log out of Slack?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you kind of put the
No,
lappy
I was
away.
like,
But you
if
knew
it's
about- you
urgent
knew about
and
the
important, you
QRA
text
though.
me.
Yeah.
And
He knew about the QRA.
I
you
didn't know about the
notice-
QRA,
did you
and
say,
I was like,
"Babe,
I know to go
Babe,
long.
there's been a QRA. She's like,
Dude.
what the hell are you
New
talking
Janet
about?
Yellen just dropped.
the great thing was it was 8:30. It was 8:30 p.m. It was 8:30 p.m. Bhutan time. So I was pulled up the lappy. Went
No,
long.
you can finance all you want, but the work stuff you put away.
Yeah, the work stuff I put away.
Did you notice a drop in cortisol?
I noticed a drop in fucking performance of the team.
Yeah.
Tell you what. You guys showed up. You were like, "There's no one here to open up the office." I was like, "What do you mean?"
Oh, yeah.
Everyone stopped coming in.
On Wednesday, we come here to record, and we're all everyone's gone.
Filthy motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Scheming. No, I love them all.
Cats away.
Yeah.
That's kind of Chris's job. He keeps people in the
He does
desks.
keep people in line very well.
Yeah.
He actually just happened to go to Vegas that day.
Ah.
Yeah, he took a day off himself.
Okay.
And yeah, they took that opportunity to the max. Mm-hmm. All right, so we're back in here.
Wait,
Oh,
I
we are
thought
back.
Armand was everyone's father.
We are so back.
Yeah, Armand was dad. When dad was
Wow.
gone, Steve and I can get really deep into the charts and the finance.
That is great.
Father was slapping you. Silly.
Cat is away.
All right, let's kick this bad boy off.
Let's
Welcome to the Alfalfa podcast presented by Zbiotics. We are the four of us for the first time in a long time. Eric Johansson, Armand Asadi, Steven Cesaro, I'm Nick Urbani. What's up to everyone in the chat? We had a little restart, and I'm glad you're all here so quickly because, it was frothy in the beginning, and it's nice to see. Feels good to be back and see all your friendly usernames and your guys' faces too.
Dude, the
Haven't
chat
seen
was
it.
ready. That was the biggest
Reunited.
waiting room we've had in a while. They're pumped.
Yeah.
Everyone's spirits are back. It's a bull market chat right there.
Wait till they find out Steven changed all the content. Anyway, the content lords have directed.
This is now
little-
a chess podcast.
Yeah, anyway, support the pod. Go to streamlabs.com/alfalfapod. I haven't said in a while. I'm pretty sure that's the link. Get your comment on the live stream. Any comment over, I think it's $9. $9 goes on the screen. Subscribe at all platforms, alfalfapod.com. I have a few announcements to make, but before we do, I brought some special alcohol from the land of Bhutan. So here on the little coffee table thing we got going on is K5 whiskey, which stands for K5, the fifth king, which I'll maybe we'll chat about in a bit. But up until just a few years ago, Bhutan was a monarchy, and they're very happy to be ruled by monarchs. It's like very much a benevolent dictator type of governance, and they're happy for it. And so for the fifth king's coronation, they produced whiskey, and it's now the most popular whiskey in Bhutan. So naturally brought some back for the pod. And
thanks, man. It's delicious.
I like it.
it's pretty good, right?
Yeah, I like it.
I wasn't sure if I was buying like a gimmicky thing, but I asked some locals. I was like, "Hey, what are you drinking tonight?" And they're like, "K5." I was like, "Okay,
Duh.
cool, done."
Nice.
So yeah, it's pretty smooth.
It is. It's a blended Scotch whiskey
Yeah, and
Very nice.
For the fifth king,
in honor of the king.
they love the king there.
I bet they
oh,
do.
dude, king is everywhere.
Yeah.
You don't. Like in some places, you don't speak bad about the king, but I think they just don't want to.
They love the king.
They love the king there. So anyway, we got some Fifth King whiskey going on. Let's give a shout out to our sponsor, ZBiotics. Check out zbiotics.com/alfalfa. Holiday season's coming up, so I got an extra batch for holiday season because going to be drinking with family, some friends.
I'm taking it home for Thanksgiving.
Are you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got Thanksgiving coming up, Christmas,
Everyone's
New
going
Year's.
to question me and say this is not going to work, and then they're all going to be happy they took
It's
it.
the best part.
Have them try it.
Of course.
Because they're going to call Fugazi
They're
out
gonna
on
call
it.
Fugazi.
And then you'd be like, just try it once.
Just try it.
And then
I went to the Food and Wine Fest this weekend because my pickleball nationals tournament got. So I audibled to the Food and Wine Fest, and man,
I heard it's like a sprint of like drinking wine from every booth.
yeah, it's like you do the early admission, and then you're just in a race before like all the.
The good wine gets tapped.
Just all like you see like all that their peasants are like lined up outside, and you're like, "Go boys, go!" And you're just like running through all the booths, trying to drink and eat everything before like all the lines get super bad. Yeah, I got like hammered. I was like as is the tradition there.
Yeah.
But I survived.
Good.
I was like, this is the test.
I'm picturing you
This is the
hammered,
ultimate test.
just like talking crypto to randoms.
So anyway, if you guys want to learn more about the science, we have a full episode with the CEO, Zach Abbott, on our YouTube channel and in the podcast stream. So feel free to check that out. But anyway, you drink ZBiotics before you have some alcohol. And you don't have the not so good feelings gone in the morning when you take it. And I drank some before we had some K5. And do us a favor. If you recommend it over friends and family over the holidays, make sure to tell them to use the Alfalfa code. Helps out the pod, helps out the sponsor, makes things grow bigger.
Yeah,
Save
it works for
15%.
every order with a new email.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it does. Noted. And also, there's all kinds of like shitty discount codes. So, yeah. Anyway, it helps when you mention.
Oh, shit.
Oh, big money.
Poppy,
Big Poppy Rectum.
Wow.
Edmund Rectum, the goat, just dropped $69 in the chat. Oh,
What did
is
he
that
say?
with the integrated YouTube thing he just did?
Yeah, read it out.
Oh,
Read it
okay.
out. Read out his
Armand,
comment.
in your voice is best.
Roses are red, violets are blue. I'm balls long in all caps, and I hope you are too. You're amazing, man. Thank you so much, dude. Appreciate you, man.
that feels good.
Dude, that's amazing.
Good to be balls long.
Wait, this is really cool the way it's like integrated into the
Oh yeah,
into the stream.
It lets people know.
Yeah.
People are so shocked that we don't know how that happened, but
That
it
was
did.
team. Well, I'll tell you why, because that was Team Software, Team Armand
Team,
and Eric.
Fuck.
team get things
Have
done.
you guys even finished your list of to-dos?
All right,
Because
all
we
right. We did a
done?
Saturday where
Let's go,
we
man.
did teams. Steve and I were on one team.
I think we're just
Eric and
gonna-
Armand were on another, and they got a little more done than we
Yeah,
did.
you guys were looking at charts all day.
No, we weren't. We were in hardware, and we obviously broke something. Gave the tech equipment aids.
Yeah, I agree. It seems like, as Edmund is saying, it's much easier this way too, because you don't have to go to their site. Although, of course, you could. you can definitely go to Streamlabs as well. But
Yeah.
this is integrated
Well,
right in the thing.
if we're long Google stock, I don't mind them taking their 30%
Yeah, so
rip.
they take a 30% cut of that. That's why we push them.
That's okay.
Okay,
I'm
that's
okay with
fine. Optionality.
Smooth. I like frictionless.
Optionality. Yeah.
I was going to
That's
make
great.
a condom joke, but never mind. All right, let's keep going.
Okay.
So got two announcements. The first one is also ZBiotics related. So we're doing a giveaway. ZBiotics gave us some free samples, free 12 packs to give away. So we want to give away some ZBiotics, especially in time for the holidays. So if you go to alfalfapod.com, it's a little link tree, our fancy link tree website. And at the top, there's a link to sign up for our newsletter. I don't know if we'll send you anything. Maybe we will. Maybe we won't. If we do send something, it'll probably be cool. But put your email in there. Put a real email in there. We'll pick a winner at the end of the week. And that winner will email you, get you shipped out 12 bottles of ZBiotics for free.
Yeah, so it's only
Yes.
newsletter subscribers who are eligible for the giveaway.
Which means if you put a fake email and we email you that you won, you don't get to win because it was a fake email. So put a real one.
Wow. Tainted by a true operator. I know you're not one of these little investor guys. You're a true operator, sir. You know the ways.
Absolutely.
Okay, so that's the first one.
But I have seen a preview of the first newsletter, and I will tell people it was actually amazing.
Jordan?
Thank you,
golf
Jordan.
clap.
Bravo.
Absolutely. So expect a great newsletter. I think it's going to be really valuable. Personally, I love a good newsletter.
You like
it
a
gives
good
me like an overview of like what's going on within a brand or a media company or some person I follow. It's like a great way to like stay up to date on what's going on.
Cool.
So, yeah.
So I came back. We have NFTs. So
We have
Steven,
NFTs now.
you want to make
We did it.
We launched today.
We launched today. We launched this morning. We collaborated with pods.media. I think they're at Collect Pods or something on Twitter. Probably should have remembered that. But yeah, pods.media. Super cool company that is using crypto for actual stuff that is useful. So they basically will take our episodes and turn them into collectible NFTs. You get like the thumbnail, you get the whole audio clip of the episode. It's super cool. And yeah, you guys rock. We went through like 70 of these and like
No way.
Yeah, it was just
So what are they?
ripped through 'em.
They're collectibles of each episode, so you can collect a specific episode, like the original episode, maybe the Bankless episode.
Yeah, so we launched with like a launch collection of like 5 of some of our like classic episodes. We've got the number 1 episode. We've got our Layer 0 that most of you guys saw us first on. We've got Guns and Porn, of course.
Great
That's
episode.
my personal favorite.
We did the Merge live stream, and then the ETH to 50K and the Karen AI episode, which was the first full live studio
Oh, okay.
episode. So some
Is
milestones
there
in
like
there.
a leaderboard of like which ones?
Yeah, I think
Yes.
Dan Simmons is probably resting atop the
Oh.
leaderboard.
Salute, sir.
Is that right?
Daddy
is that
of the
still-
NFTs?
Is that still
We have
the
a new-
case? I mean, markets are fluid.
So each NFT, I guess, has like its own leaderboard, but it seems like Dan has planted himself for,
Yeah.
top most of
Lording,
them.
he's K6.
I don't know who Vortex.
Six.
I don't know who Vortex.eth is, but Vortex.eth is the very first collector of the very first episode.
Oh,
So
we got to
it's a
find out who
special-
that is.
That's a special
How much is
little.
0.0069 ETH?
15
it's like
bucks.
$12 or
Oh,
something.
cool.
$13. I don't know.
Okay.
It's basically free in NFT land.
It is.
Yeah.
That's not even like the gas to approve the token. Yeah, we should mention these are done on Optimism, so you can actually buy them for pennies.
The
and-
gas would be higher than the NFT price.
Yeah, be a really stupid experience. Another thing we have set up, by the way, is that if you go to guild.xyz/alfalfa, you can claim special roles in the Discord according to how much you.
Oh, really? I'm gonna
Collect.
swoop.
Legendary status.
Yeah, so I don't
You're
know
already
if
a
anybody
host,
else
Nick.
has become. We
Yeah.
have the
I just want a leaderboard.
Yeah, what are the tiers right now?
we have the Alfalfa Patreon, we have the Alfalfa Degen, and then we have the Alfalfa Legend. So last I checked, we had 2 in the Degen status. I think Dan was definitely one of them, and then Lucas, I believe. was,
Wonderful.
the other. So
Yeah,
apologies if somebody else has ascended to Degen status, and I didn't see you yet, but we'll be sure to give you a shout out next time. Yeah, we're gonna release one of these every episode now. So every time we do an episode, you'll be able to go back, collect the last episode, We've got the Discord roles for now, but we're gonna talk about what we can do, as far as like other benefits go for people who collect these things. I don't know if they'll ever have any resale value, but they mean a lot to us.
Yeah, I think it's a fun way to be involved with something. I'm gonna go swoop some.
It is fun to think about like what it would be worth if like Joe Rogan did one of these and somebody bought like the first NFT of his first episode. Probably worth like a good chunk of change.
True.
Fact.
Soon us.
Soon. Soon. TM.
Well, I know we got a little topic. We're going to talk a little bit about the Humane AI pin and all related such tangents.
Excited for your reactions.
Oh, fuck.
Shh.
All right.
Wait.
All right. I'll wait. But
Whoa.
I actually haven't seen you guys in a bit.
Whoa.
What's going on in your lives? Can we just have a little warm up, a little fluffer?
Eric and I had 4 beers last night and went to the SDSU game.
I
and
was
woke up like we
Z-biotic-less.
had 12
I
for
was
some reason.
Z-biotic-less last night.
Yeah.
I had a great night, by the way, hanging out with your cohort. Really bright young minds in the Techstars cohort. These guys are awesome and very fun. But I paid
Great.
for it this morning.
Yeah, it was great.
What's going on with Steno?
We had a pregame. It's good. We're just
Are
moving
you
along.
pivoting?
I don't know how many pivots you can have. But,
Okay. Cool. That's good.
yeah, we did that, and we're cruising along, and it's just so busy.
You
It's
signed
just
up a new
insanely busy.
advisor. I
We
saw.
did. Dan Martell,
Friend of the pod.
Guest
friend
of
of
the
the
pod.
pod, guest of the pod, is officially first advisor of Steno.
Fuck
so, yeah, huge.
You went straight to GOAT.
Been
level
working on
advisor.
that for a long time, and Dan, I mean, short story. Been working on this for a long time and just been following up with Dan, and you even have been in the behind the scenes of some of the paperwork and what it's taken to get to this point. And when we finally, came to a verbal agreement, Dan was like, "Hey, all right, on the 13th, how about I just, come in for the day? We do an in-person ceremony, we sign the papers, and I'll speak to your Techstars cohort as well for like 30, 45 minutes. And, and then he's going to go do a pod and then jump on this. But it was amazing. Like the level that he's playing at right now is just unbelievable. So first of all, I think since he was on the pod, he bought a jet.
Is it jet?
He's a PJ guy
Oh
now.
no.
Yeah. So he's got a jet. He drives a McLaren. He flew in that morning, came in like everything that he talked about on that episode is like something that he's actually living and breathing. Like Anne, his assistant, had the whole day dialed in. Nothing goes through him. It all like she just manages his life.
There's a driver
Got a
that,
whole
like-
team. Driver was like following around while he was on campus, like ready for the hard stop at 10:30. We did the little ceremony. He did the 30 minutes with the cohort about go-to-market strategy, and it was like just absolute rock star level.
So Eric and I saw the picture of you.
Oh
and
yeah,
Dan.
and he was creating content. He
Dan
had, like-
is jacked.
he's huge. He's huge now. Like
You're a big guy.
Dude.
You look like Shaq compared to you.
exactly.
He's a big guy who does triathlons.
Ironmans.
Oh, Ironmans.
Ironman.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Wow. All right.
So what is
Sick level of
what's
fitness.
Steno pivoting to? That's what the audience wants to know.
So we are. It's a little too soon to share more publicly because I want to come out with more of a public reveal and give people
But
something
just tell
to chew
Calcium.
on.
He's the only one asking.
Yeah. So we are shifting to helping creators, content creators, and media brands monetize with AI.
Okay.
And we're doing some really interesting things with that. So basically taking like, let's just use, for example, Dan Martell. Dan Martell started by doing a YouTube and creating educational content there. And then he wrote a book, and then he created courses, and then he did SaaS Academy. He's got long form educational content on and a podcast or whatever, right? As a guest on podcasts. He's got all this long form content on many different platforms. So if you've been a user of Steno previously, you saw we had this huge library of basically every podcast transcribed, summaries, and we eventually brought a chat experience to that as well. But what we're doing now is we're basically making this like a Patreon or OnlyFans that's AI driven for creators. So you get Dan Martell, we take all of his content, we bring it into one page, one hub across all these disparate sources, and then give his audience an AI experience with that content. So Dan then goes to his audience and says, he decides, just like Patreon or OnlyFans or whatever, right? It's like $5, $20 a month for this level of access.
Wait, hang on. This is cool because there was actually you're not part of our Discord anymore because your head's down grinding. But there was a request from Discord member Eric Puncher who said like, I would love to create a custom Chat GPT based on Alfalfa episodes.
Yeah, I mean that's I actually going to release that really soon.
Sick.
So we'll have an Alfalfa one. I don't even know what we'll do with it, but yeah, that's an example as well as like. So it really is for content creators in particular, long form, that ideally are on multiple channels that have dense material where you can't keep up. I talked to David yesterday. David and I Hoffman met, and I was just kind of trying to understand his his point of view on this, and he was like, "This is really useful, especially for like." All the people that are going to show up to the bull market and get introduced to Bankless for the first time and are going to be like hundreds of episodes behind and trying to understand what the narrative of Bankless is. And this allows them to onboard really quickly and get caught up really quickly. Like they can just talk to David and Ryan. They can go back to episodes that they hear are valuable and read summaries or go directly to the transcript, so on and so forth. So that's just the beginning of the sliver of like what the generative AI aspect will do for the user. But there's a lot of stuff in the pipeline.
Thanks for giving us a little taste.
Yeah.
Is the tempo of Techstars still the same? Like
It's higher.
Well, yeah, demo day is
higher.
coming up.
Yeah, we're 3.5 weeks away from demo day. This has been an insane week.
Cool.
Like in particular, I think next week will be slightly less crazy because of the holidays, so that'll be nice. I'm actually excited for that. Yeah.
I'm excited. So there's going to be I can just chart for people all day now, right?
now back.
I mean,
Just
yeah. No, like, yeah, because like the other aspect of the generative aspect of all of this is like we'll feed all
so
of our
cool.
content. There will be like an Alfalfa or a Steven GPT. There will be a summary of everything you've talked about, but because like these APIs in particular, like Assistant API, which was a huge announcement last week. I mean, this is a multimodal like ability to just have it generate, I don't know, like a chart of like what you just discussed, or like being able to have a discussion and have a voice discussion because you're on the go.
Dude,
so
this would be such a good product. Like if you could actually, no, not, I'm not talking about me.
No, I'm
we're
reading the
going
thing.
outside me. But like if you could have like a regular sort of normie investor, like just talk to a chart and just ask it questions like, hey, what's a price target for Solana for the next 2 years, right? And just it could be like, oh, it's interesting. Like here's some methodologies where people might
Can't
do
imagine
that,
any
or
money
show-
will be lost with that.
Well, obviously it would have to be a lot of disclaimers on it, but that's like a complicated thing. But like it's like a complicated thing that a lot of people try to interact with. So to be able to just like talk to somebody and have it walk you through, or even just like what are the top performing coins today? What are the best performing coins? And they can show me a chart of all the AI coins or something. That'd be like a really sick product.
yeah, dude. It's
Don't
gonna
steal
be
that
wild.
idea. I might do that. Hey, nobody heard that.
No, it's gonna
Patent
be
pending.
wild.
Shit. Oh.
Cool. So what's
soon.
our we're diving in.
Yeah, what do you want to get into next? You want to get into the AI pin?
Yeah, I
right,
thought we
cool.
wanted to. Yeah, let's get into
All right,
it.
so
dive in. Let's do it.
we're going to talk about this Humane AI pin. I don't know, Jordan, if you can find a visual that shows the demo, because this is done by two senior people, experienced people at Apple. So I think one of them has got like 22 years experience at Apple. One of them's got 8 years experience, and the demo comes complete with Steve Jobs and Elizabeth Holmes level gear on, black, not full turtleneck, but like black gear on. It was very Apple-esque.
Could we just play the video in the background muted while we talk about it?
Yeah, it's not a
That'd
bad
be
idea.
really cool. It's
Yeah,
just on
play it.
YouTube, Jordan.
And so this is a device made for AI. So they saw AI, they're like, let's make a device specifically for it. It's a pin you put on
Or just mute it.
your clothing. So the battery pack is like a magnet. You put it underneath your like shirt or your thing, and you attach it. And I don't know, it seems like it's mostly
one at the
voice controlled. So you can do things like message with it. You can have it play music.
That's the one.
Yeah. So the video we're playing on the screen here is a little demo of them. And
Are you able to mute it, Jordan? Yeah.
yeah, so you can kind of see, for those of you watching, what it looks like. It's a little pin And it's interesting that there are no other device. There's no app on your phone that you use to connect with it. You only use that device. And there are no apps.
iPhone killer, bro.
Shit the fuck.
That's what they want.
Get the fuck out of here.
Really?
No way.
You're that pessimistic on this?
Oh God, this thing is garbage.
This is garbage?
Wait, do the spiel first.
Let's start. Let's get into this.
All right,
This
so
is
I mean,
exciting.
what else should we include about the spiel? So basically, it's voice activated.
Yeah, here, I have a little summary.
It has a camera on it, so it can like take video and pictures of what you're seeing, kind of without you doing anything. It only responds to your voice, so it's not always recording. But if you speak, it turns on and listens. Or if you could tap it and to turn it on. It can do things like summarize what's in your messages. So you could be like, hey, catch me up on what's going on in my text messages. It'll do things. The kind of homegrown AI can also do critical thinking across apps. So if you say like, hey, play me a certain genre, but not this person, you wouldn't typically be able to do that command in Spotify or search that in Spotify, but it can like think through it and play specific types of music. So it can do some critical thinking across apps. What else?
It's basically just like a standalone smart device that's the entire interface is just Chat GPT, right? And doesn't like connect to your iPhone, that you don't download apps on it. And
Yeah.
it's just like supposed to be like a kind of standard. Like I think the main gist is that they're like, okay, we're gonna start moving people away from like the screen.
Yeah, and I think they're trying to make it for like the next generation device. So you may not need to have an iPhone anymore. It's got this little projection display. So when you put your palm out, it'll project some things on your palm, and you can control it by tilting your palm like forward, back, side to side. And yeah, I guess that's somewhat useful. But yeah, so it's trying to replace the phone, and obviously this is a generation 0. So who knows what generation 10 will look like?
Oh wait, you're bullish now?
No.
Okay, so I'm having a podcast today with my parents about the future of technology. So you're out. You're out. Yeah, you're out.
What am I doing?
You're not bullish either.
Whether I like this device or
Wait,
not.
are you?
Yeah.
Are you?
Oh, we should mention
put
that
us back on, yeah.
the pin costs $699, and it's a $24 a month subscription.
Cheaper than my phone.
So it's $24 a month because it makes calls as well. Like
It's
you
your phone. It's everything.
It is a phone. It uses like T-Mobile, so like it has its own phone number assigned to it, and you can be like, "Hey, call Nick," and then it will call you through this little
They
device.
did a part of the demo is a really cool live translation that I thought was really cool. So if Armand walks up to me and starts speaking Spanish, it'll just like hear the Spanish in speaker, turn to English. Now I can respond in English, and it'll put on speaker for Armand in Spanish or in Farsi. And
You don't know Spanish.
I don't know why I chose Spanish. First language Farsi.
Okay, so you hate this thing. Armand has a boner for this thing.
I like certain things about it.
Huge.
Okay,
No,
so
I don't have a huge.
I wanted to ask you guys like what's the
I'm an early adopter. You guys clearly aren't.
yeah, I'm not an early adopter either.
You are
Well,
definitely not an early adopter.
I'm the most dinosaur of all of us.
You're
But
true dinosaur.
You think early?
You're like early-ish, Steven.
I'm like the
You're
earliest
definitely not.
of
okay.
early.
Let's take early
You're
adopters.
right
I was
almost
buying
where
I
Eric
said I was
is.
buying the
I'm a-
Vision.
I think it took you. I think you just got a Mac.
No, I'm like an early majority guy. I like let the first people like fuck it all up and
Trend
figure out all the
follower.
bugs.
I'm like
Trend follower.
You don't
Hoffman.
try to pick the
Hoffman
bottom.
and I
Yeah.
are at the front of the line
Smart.
to get stuff. Like
No
tech.
way.
Yes.
Yeah, you
what
guys
do you mean?
like-
I'm describing myself.
you like toys, yeah.
Yeah, Hoffman and I like to be
Yeah.
the first to buy stuff. Like,
Totally.
he's a true like tech geek, and so am I.
I agree.
Like
With
I
that.
actually get a huge dopamine
But
release.
you think? I mean, I don't even think.
I literally just bought the new iPhone.
I don't even think
know. I
the
just had to
early
have it.
adopters of
What a waste! You could have bought
ChatGPT
this
would
thing for
want to use.
$6.99.
It's actually, by the way, it's exactly the same.
I
The
have an
15 and the
iPhone.
13
I have an iPhone 10
are exactly
still.
the
Does that
same.
make you feel?
I'm fine for you. I love that for you, but
Charger doesn't even work.
I would be.
Okay, so I think the big leap forward with this are two things. One is the form factor. It doesn't have a screen. It's not a phone. And the other leap forward is it's like AI first, right? It's like it's
Right.
AI forward. It doesn't have the apps or anything.
Yeah.
So I think I'm more inclined to be excited about the AI forward component of that. Like the form factor, I'm not that excited about.
Yeah, so I'll give you my like high level analysis, and I haven't even thought about this a lot. First of all, I think it was really. What did you guys think of the demo? Like,
I mean,
Not
I
great,
saw.
right?
It was like trying to be. I couldn't tell if it was like something from Silicon Valley, like the show,
Yeah.
and it was also like very like Black Mirror. They're like,
Yeah.
this device will
It was a
forever
mix of
change the way that you
Steve
think
Jobs
about.
and Elizabeth Holmes. I was like, this is half not
Yeah, it
fucking
was
real,
really weird.
and you're also trying to do something really
The
innovative.
guy's voice was so calm and
liked that.
soothing that I
Actually,
liked it.
I
But
did
then by
No, but it was,
minute
like,
7,
creepy
I was
soothing.
like falling asleep.
It was soothing, like Hannibal Lecter's voice
Yeah,
is soothing.
yeah. And they spent like 4 minutes talking about like colors
Hello,
and like battery.
Armand.
Like it just was not.
Yeah, before even
an
talking about what
impactful-
the product does, they were like, and there's 3 colorways.
Yeah, and they made it sound so. It was just colors, and they made everything sound so. Yeah, so a lot to improve in the delivery of like the demo, and apparently, by the way, this is backed by Sam Altman. Like they've been in stealth for quite a while.
These are Apple people.
These are
right?
these are former
Apple people and
heavy hitters.
OpenAI powers the AI.
Yeah, like deeply in collaboration with OpenAI, backed by Sam Altman, raised over $100 million. Might be more.
It's been in development for like
In development
6
for years. This was the big reveal. So lots going on. But I think it's not about like, people are so quick to judge, and we love to just like immediately be like, not for me or whatever, but it's about what it represents. So like the way I think about this is like, I'm not sure if this is the best analogy, but it's like, this is kind of like a BlackBerry, right? This is like the BlackBerry was a huge leap forward from a Nokia, from a flip phone, from basically that. From flip phone to BlackBerry was a huge leap forward. What eventually won was the iPhone. Do I think a pin is the future? I actually have no idea. Is it a necklace? Is it a pin? Is it a pair of glasses? Is it something else? The form factor will likely change. The software will change. And actually, a lot of the software that they showed off in the demo, we already have better software for. Like some of the things, even the translation, like, I don't know, like your Google Translate app like already kind of does that. Your Spotify app could like integrate a little AI and get better at just like listening to your voice and playing music you like. So what it was a different form factor, the combination of a lot of disparately connected apps that are currently existing on your phone, but putting them in a different a sort of like modality and a way of utilizing them. And that, I think, is what's exciting, is it's like a step forward in terms of maybe there's a way to do this without screens. Like I personally didn't like the touch stuff or the laser on the hands. Like I was like, I don't see myself doing that. So I think there's a lot to improve, but it's about what it represents. It's a step in the direction toward the Her movie integration of AI
In the movie
in our
Her,
lives.
he's got like something on him that like projects.
Exactly.
He puts it in his pocket, and then he's got
Similar.
like an earbud.
And he's got the earbud.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's the like tech
Yeah.
form it comes in the movie.
Right, right. And who knows where we'll end up and who the Apple of this generation will be. Maybe it'll be Apple.
Probably
Maybe it'll
Apple.
be these guys, right? Yeah. If this thing starts working, Apple's going to pivot and come out with like, either move away from the iPhone or do something radical as well.
I'll tell you things that I liked about it that also kind of shit on Apple. Like I was looking at this, I was like, where are you? Like when OpenAI did its like developer conference, like where the fuck is Google? And then when this came out, I was like, what is Apple doing? So one, it's nice to have an appless operating system. Like you don't have to like say access, Spotify app. You just tell the AI, play me some music that I like.
Here's what I want.
Just tell me what's going on in my day. Like check my email, check my messages. Let me know what's going on. And I like to have the optionality so that I do like to be able to go to apps when I want to, but when I just want to say like, hey, who's messaging me today? Can you wrap me up on what's going on? And it's crazy to me that Siri or whatever you want to call their like AI hasn't been able to work across apps. I mean, it can't even open up another application on the phone still, which is like pretty embarrassing, I think, on their part. But I think like one thing that is missing is they're taking hardware to AI. They're like making hardware for AI, but I don't think you need to do that. Like the AI is going to go in every single device, your watch, your AirPods, your phone. And, maybe we might have a new type of device, like maybe it's glasses or maybe it is some kind of pin or pendant or whatever it is. I don't think you need to like build hardware specific for it. But I did like the appless operating system. And, like with Apple, I can't even. Have you guys ever searched your text messages, your iMessage for like something?
It's not good.
It's pathetic.
You can't
not
do
good.
it, and I think iOS 17. I haven't even tested this, which I just installed it. Apparently, it's like better and fixed.
I mean, it's like
but I still don't know.
I feel like
how
I'm
good.
in like 19th century when I try to search for something in my iMessages, and like
Yeah, it's
he
terrible.
was able to pull up like
gate code.
Yes, what's the gate code that Eric sent me? And it doesn't matter if it was 7 weeks ago; it just knew what it was. And so I think that's phenomenal. And
Yeah.
then real quick, just a small bullet point. The other thing is how much tech they packed into a very small device was pretty impressive.
Yeah, I was most impressed by, again, like my overall sort of analysis of it. It's a combination of a lot of great technology plus AI in a new form factor. I'm not so sure, though, that people don't want a screen.
That's
Like, I don't know
where I
if
land.
people like, there's like a great debate. It's not a great debate. It's a debate, I guess, mostly I'm having with like friends and things like that around like, in an AI-driven world, how much do you want things to be driven by an audio and chat experience versus UI? Like, how much do people need a physical, a visual UI UX experience to play with? And I think, like, for certain personality types and people that learn a certain way, you really need it. Because without it, like if you're talking to me, I'll give you an example. You're talking to me about my calendar. I need to see my calendar sometimes. I can't just be told what's next because my brain doesn't process that well. I also like to be able to see and go, okay, wow, that's a chunk of 2 hours with Dan Martell, and then I have an hour open, and then it's like if the AI is just talking to me, it's like you're with Dan from 10 to 12, and then you have this at 2. It doesn't click for me sometimes. Like, oh, look at that 2-hour block I have. Just using a very silly example to illustrate that. There's a lot of different
Or
things
maps,
that happen.
like
like that.
navigation. Like sometimes it helps
Yeah,
to see when
yeah.
the turn is coming as it's coming
For
up.
sure.
Well, I was
so I
thinking
don't
about-
know if we can remove. I think that this was Humane's big bet. Was we have to kill the iPhone, and we have to come out like we're killing the iPhone. We cannot be a companion to the iPhone. We have to be a standalone device. If we come out after 6 years and $100 million and we're just a companion device, we're not going to make a splash in the market. We're not going to revolutionize the game. For Apple, I think this is really positive. Apple hasn't had any competition whatsoever. Like, sure, of course, there's the Android ecosystem, but Apple itself has been sandbagging for years. I'm telling you, I just bought the iPhone 15 Pro, fucking whatever, and it's exactly the same as the 13 I had. It's exactly the same as the 11 I had. I think everything since a 10, maybe 11, has been exactly the same. And like, and every year it's just like, yeah, the camera's a little better. Like, oh my god,
Well, that's
the night mode picture is a little better. Like, they need to get pressed, and they're not being pressed enough. And so I hope that people adopt this to a certain degree and help build something like this that then pushes Apple to think more revolutionary about like what they want to build.
But I agree with you entirely. And I think where this ultimately lands is that there will be a companion device and it give you the optionality of screen instead of removing screen.
I think you need it, don't
because
you?
like one of the biggest use cases for a phone today is the camera. And like if you this little pin does have a camera, but if you take a photo and you can't see what the photo looks
No, it's
like,
stupid.
That's terrible.
That's a terrible
So you want to
experience.
know what you took a photo of immediately. You don't want to have to go back to your desktop tonight and be like, okay, let's see how these
The
turned out.
main thing this demo did wrong, which it was a lot of things it did wrong. It was 10 minutes long. The guy was like half asleep when he was talking. Some people liked his voice. I did. But what he did wrong is they didn't show an experience. They just talked about features. You know, like they could have done this really cool, hot sizzle reel, 90-second, like someone in an AI world, like living his or her life and like dynamically doing
Or from
all
going
the
through
things.
the office, walking to their
Yeah,
home.
show me. Instead, they sat in front of this like table, just like pointing at things and like, I don't know. It
I mean,
didn't do it for
I'm
me.
just not like super bullish on a voice only controlled operating system.
Yeah.
Like you have been sending voice notes for ages, and
They're
like
limiting.
I can't even listen to them half the time because like I'm in groups or I'm in a meeting or maybe you're in public transportation and you want to like have it read out private messages from your significant other while you're
I don't want people to know what I'm Googling.
and like your commands are all voice. I don't know. I'm just like not
Agreed.
not bullish that, but
Well, unless like that her world starts to come to life. And by the way, Apple's working on this with its AirPods and a lot of companies are, is like having a listening mode. So this is kind of controversial. I was reading about Apple's approach to this is like it's a software update to the AirPods Pro. And what you'll be able to do is you'll be able to leave them in, but you'll be able to be in like more of a listening mode. It'll just take like one button. And so there was this whole like New York Times article about, will that be weird for someone to leave their AirPods in and like be talking to you? Well, you actually know you have someone's attention, because the way you show somebody like I'm listening is you take the AirPods out and you look at them and yes, oh, no problem. What's up?
I
But
don't
like
do that.
leaving them
We have
in.
transparency now.
No, we know you don't, Stephen. Like,
But like most social
you literally show up to the
interactions-
podcast with your AirPods on, and I think you're talking to me, but I actually don't know.
I have transparency mode on. I go, bing.
But that's not
And then I can
normal
hear
yet,
anything.
right? That's not
I
normal.
thought that
yet.
was normal.
No, you're the only guy I know that does that. That's what I'm saying. It's not socially acceptable.
But when
yet.
I'm at the dog park, people see me with my AirPods in, and they just walk up to me and talk to me as though I.
Well, they're waiting for you to pull one of the earbuds out.
I mean, like I do ultimately, you know.
Exactly.
You acquiesce.
Exactly.
But they must. I just assume they're like, oh, he's on transparency mode. He can hear me.
See, I don't know, but we'll see. Yeah, I don't know. I'd be curious what the chat thinks, the Alfalfa community thinks, even if you're not live. And I know I haven't been in the Discord, but post in the Discord, let us know. Like,
So-
I'd be curious what you guys thought about
I'm
this.
just like unclear on why this isn't just like a software update for Apple.
I mean, it will be.
You know?
It
Yeah.
will be.
Right, because isn't this just like what Siri should be?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
Apple's,
it is.
I think, sandbagging in that department too. I know they're working on AI. There's been teases of that. There's been leaks of that they're working on AI.
You know, both Google and
Siri-
Apple are probably stuck in legal. Like their AI is stuck in
Yeah.
the legal department waiting for approval.
But
There's
Siri
probably
has a
something new.
huge opportunity.
Siri
Like
is the
Siri, if Siri
worst.
had the power and the efficacy of ChatGPT, like if you've used ChatGPT voice, like that would be unbelievably useful. Like to have that integrated into your phone.
Across your apps.
Across just it totally integrated into the whole ecosystem of your hardware and your software of your phone.
So I was wondering
That'd be
about
wild.
about this device in particular. Like if I wanted to like hail an Uber, it's appless, right? So can I
Yes.
call a car
Yes.
and it will like
You can order DoorDash.
Okay, so you order DoorDash, but it uses the DoorDash app, but it's not on the operating system.
There's no app. It's like integrated in their system. They're probably hooked into some APIs, and they hear you
APIs.
want food, and they're like, okay, we're going to use the DoorDash
but then you're
app.
connected
Yeah.
via your
I
account.
mean, there's some missing holes. Like, how do they know it's my account? How do they
This
charge
is
my
the
card?
bull case though for this type of like system where you don't have a screen. Like if everything just works and you have to do some initial onboarding, some connection and onboarding of like your various accounts and apps, and it just works, people will not need a screen as much as they used to. If you start to trust that it's working well, I don't know. Like I think like there is that future. We will.
The demo. He was just like, what is that? And they're like, this is like, how much is it? I was like, buy that from where?
Yeah.
But about it, like, oh, comes up in the results, and I don't really even research. I'm just like,
But you know it's
it's
from
probably good
Amazon.
enough, and I just buy it because I've developed the trust. And so I could see you getting where you're just like, oh, what is that chair? Buy that, and it just might be like, oh, actually, this one we know lumbar support, and I know that. Oh, thank you for the heads up. Like I could see it. You think that?
Yeah.
But I don't feel AI right now. The demo, like they were a question, which long answer.
Yeah, everyone was
And-
ripping that.
It,
It was like 15 walnuts, and he was like,
15
where?
grams of protein, like 4. It's like what? So
but that was that like your phone components take in that information. Now, the way you have that right now is through ChatGPT app on your phone, but it's like a multi-step
It works
process.
so well. I tested it out the other day.
Exactly.
We had this old, like, I don't know, they're like wipes for our dog.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, we got them like 6 months ago when we forgot what it was for, and he was itchy, and I was like, ChatGPT, took a picture, upload. I was like, what does this do? Just a picture, and it read the label, gave it exact description of what it's used for, and I was like, wow, this computer vision thing's really stepping up.
Yeah. I think we're having some sound issues.
Maybe it's a little lag.
And now lagging.
Seems better now?
It's a,
Sure the chat's awake.
yeah.
It's a
Feature.
feature.
Feature, not a bug.
Is the chat awake? Well, I think one cool way to like maybe make some money off this is like recognizing that like, and we were talking about this in our text thread, is that we think the ultimate winners of AI are the ones that have your data already. Apple, Google have most of your data already. Facebook too. And when they like really step it up, you know, aside from ChatGPT, have an LLM that like already integrates all of your data, your calendar, your emails, your contacts, your notes, your habits, your behaviors, all your purchases that they read from your emails, and then everything that's on your phone. Like, I think they're a winner. And like the fact that we're saying, where is Apple, where is Google? I don't know. Maybe they're lagging on the AI pump meter.
Google's
and
screwed, man.
No.
Google. Well,
Hold on, let's
screwed
talk
in
about
some
this.
ways.
I'd rather buy them now out of anyone.
First of all, I will die on this hill. Bard is still a liar, still a piece of shit LLM. And if Gemini is not an order of magnitude better, and when I say better, not just better compared to Bard, but it needs to be at least incrementally better than ChatGPT.
Okay, if you remember, we did a podcast about this AI inside of Google that was in the labs like a year ago. And the question was, this researcher was freaking out because it thought the AI was sentient.
Yeah.
And they have the capability. So like the tech exists.
I have no doubt about that. But what happened is that Bard was a freaked out overreaction to ChatGPT. That was released in a hurried manner because
And
of
super
ChatGPT.
sterilized too.
Yes. And so they had Google has a very important decision to make. Are they going to try and compete? And if they are, they're going to risk a lot
Because it
possibly
cannibalizes their
everything.
core business.
It's search, it's all of that. It's that whole like search revenue part of the business, sure, yes, but it's just more the existential and philosophical question of like, do they want to be the number one like foundational model, and do they want to be better than OpenAI?
I don't think it's what you're saying. I think it's literally just the dollars. Like 60% of their revenue or beyond is from search ads. So like to make that obsolete kills their core business.
Yeah, but I mean, they give themselves a chance if they still own the customer experience and then can integrate it. Because, you know, I've told ChatGPT things. I don't know if I even told you guys. And, you know, that data is valuable in the long run to kind of integrate into ad technology, and it symbolizes intent.
So I was thinking this too. Like
You were can you tell us about what you were texting, and can we have a conversation about that?
Yeah, so I guess the text thread was, is Google fucked? You know, like, and we've had this conversation in the Discord, in the tech channel, which I've thoroughly enjoyed. Like great ideas.
I missed the tech channel.
Yeah, it's like, it's sort of
Tech Talk.
quickly
Tech Talk.
becoming
Tech Talk.
quickly becoming my favorite channel because there's like
Power of Tech Talk.
sort of like brilliant minds in there.
Yeah, and it's a thread, so it's a very nicely cultivated group.
So I guess to Nick's point, what I'm thinking about here is like, okay, so let's just say that that search ad revenue is getting disrupted no matter what, whether it's like by Google cannibalizing themselves or, you know, by ChatGPT or whoever. I'm thinking that, you know, this is the majority of their business that they've had like no competition in for a decade plus. It's been like this amazing sort of path that they've been on. That's coming in with like hotter competition now. I think the way they can still win is like what Nick said. It's like they have like even richer data, so that the ads servicing like goes down, the volume goes down, but like the
revenue per click.
The revenue per click because they can curate it exactly to the users.
Keep in mind that every banner ad you see comes from Google too. Like, you know, they don't just make money from
It's not just
Google.com.
search.
It's every single banner ad you see on the internet comes from Google. They are the top bidder. They have the most demand. They're the one, if you're a website, you need them.
do you know what percent that is these days of their revenue?
Okay, I don't know the percent of their revenue, but let me just say, like,
just
if you don't
AdSense
have them in
display.
your auction as a website bidding on your ad inventory, you won't exist as an ad monetized model. They're that important because not only do they pay you money, but they bid up the auction for the next advertiser they cause the next advertiser to also bid up, and without them, your revenue goes down by order of magnitude.
So does that part of the business still thrive in this new
It gets even better. I mean, like, you talk to their AI, you tell them all your intimate details, and then you're on, I don't know, some magazine website or some, ESPN.com, and those ads are just even more powerful. Or you're on YouTube. You go on YouTube, and those ads are even better.
Hey, Eric, you're hungry right now. I'm like, yeah, I am.
No, ads just become like Minority Report. Right? Whereas before you were just overwhelmed with just nonsense. It's just banners everywhere. But like in the future, it knows so much about you that it knows what you're going to do before you even know you want to do it.
Yeah, and
it's just,
I bet you there's a portion of the audience who's like, but really, does that little extra bit of data help the ad performance that much? And do you remember when Facebook had that Cambridge Analytica scandal and they were in the news? Well, they ripped out a ton of data sources that were part of their algorithm. And I swear to God, everyone who's a performance marketer on Facebook during that time saw in a matter of days, the performance just like drop down, next day, drop down. And you're like, what just happened to my very profitable Facebook campaigns? And
That's when Facebook stock dipped down to like $80.
Yeah, it was just way before that, before even Apple kind of pulled the cords.
Oh, that was the Apple privacy.
Yeah,
thing.
that was the Apple privacy thing. But before that, Cambridge Analytica, they had some very sensitive data sources that they didn't make public. Like they were probably buying Amex and Visa and MasterCard's credit card data. They were probably even like buying computer vision data in CVS. I'm talking pretty sensitive type stuff where they knew exactly what you wanted. And you could tell when that news came out, just the plugs the data got unplugged, and all of a sudden the performance just collapsed. And so that little extra bit can make a huge performance in something like Google, Facebook, that really rely on advertising.
Your thesis is that whoever owns that data wins the next regime. So right now, who look like the early winners? Like ChatGPT, Microsoft?
Maybe Microsoft. I don't know. I don't know if the early winners are the long-term winners, but if you're talking about ad-supported models, I think Facebook's used AI internally to get over the data holes that they have missing from iOS that's not passing as much data through. And they've done a pretty good job of doing some predictive modeling to be like, okay, we don't know for sure that Eric likes this product, but like based upon our internal AI optimization, we know we should show this ad to Eric. I mean, back in the day, you used to target specifically like, I'm looking for people who are into this thing. And now all you do is say, here's my goal. I would like to pay this much for a new customer. And both Google and Facebook have been using AI internally, machine learning. You just set the goal and say, hey, I just want to sell my product, and they figure it out on their own. And that kind of internal AI has done pretty well. They've adapted pretty well considering they have some data holes missing.
Yeah, imagine what the future looks like if like every single product you use is basically going to start having AI in it, right? It's going to want to integrate some form of it. So imagine the future when everybody is using like their own sort of model and these things don't talk. Like right now we have Elon, right, developing Grok. And then Grok kind of lives in its own little garden and it walls off like it's Twitter data. And
Smart.
It's like, no, that's just ours, right? So in a world where everybody does that and these models don't talk, but like imagine like one model wins and it's so good that everybody's just like, all right, whatever. We'll just make this powered by that. So imagine like OpenAI powers everything. Now imagine the data OpenAI has. Imagine it has like your sleep data from your bed. It has like all of the conversations it overheard with your girlfriend because you're using the pin and you want to have it summarize all the things that happen because you forget what she said all the time and you don't want to...
Talking about a friend.
It's
yeah. And it has everything. Like imagine like the advertising data you could compile. Like if that one layer sat between you and like everything you used, it'd be insane. Versus like if everything you use suddenly gets like segmented off and it lives in its own compartment.
I imagine walled gardens like sprout up because people want to keep on their data. But like one company you for sure want to be able to crawl your data is Google, because you want to make sure you show up in their search results. So I don't know. I think they have access to the most data of anyone.
Do you think there's like an actual like benefit to the consumer to like have your data be more widespread because you actually want to get served ads that are like catered to you?
Yes.
Right. Because like if I'm
But
hungry
it doesn't
and there's
feel
like
good.
there's like a deal that's like right down the street that's like, hey, well, you can get a falafel for 30% off right now while you're hungry. I'd be like,
So
yeah, fuck.
I had
thanks.
a closed door meeting with there's a lot of general counsels at Google. Let's say just one of them. And we asked him like, hey, like this is, by the way, this is 10 years ago. I had this conversation. It was a closed door meeting. And he's like, what do you guys have questions about? We're like, well, you have a lot of data. Should we be worried about anything? He's like, well, no. Because Larry and Sergey, Eric Schmidt, they're running the company. They're good people.
Oh God.
But he's like, what happens in like 20 years when they're not the people? And it goes Sundar, who maybe was like under Larry and Sergey, but like Sundar's next guy. And he has no connection to the founders. He just is in charge of this fucking money printing machine. And he's in charge of printing more money. And he goes, honestly, that's what you should be concerned about is, all of that data being used in, not so great ways.
Well, what do you mean by that in not so great ways? Because I just think about sort of the lowest hanging fruit is like they're using the data to monetize me,
Right.
And the monetization would be kind of in great ways because this is what I want.
So picture it this way. They sell data to companies, but they don't necessarily send them the data. Like, here's the data for a dollar amount. They sell them in a way of like, well, you buy advertising and we're going to use the data to make it higher performance for you. But they could sell the data in other ways. Like maybe your health insurance company would like to know if you've been Googling some symptoms to reprice your insurance. And like, they sell data to insurance companies now. It's just in the form of ads, but you could potentially sell data in not so scrupulous. I don't know.
Yeah, I get that. Okay.
You
yeah,
get where
that's
I'm
helpful.
going.
That's helpful. Yeah.
Yeah. And when the founders, when you have not a founder-led company anymore, maybe the ethos of like do no evil doesn't necessarily persist on in the second, third, fourth generation. But I do think in general, letting them have more data definitely gives you a better experience.
Yeah. I don't know about you guys, but like I feel overwhelmed by the world. Like I have too much stuff to process all the time. In my work life and everything, and then like everything in my personal life like kind of falls by the wayside because I'm processing like so much data, like the emails, the charts,
So many
the
messaging
to-dos. There's so many messaging
Telegram,
apps,
Slack.
everything's right. So just the ability to crawl across all of this and just aggregate it for you and process it in a way and filter it would be insanely valuable to me. Like when I saw the pin doing the thing where it was like, just catch me up. That was the thing. It was like, catch me up. Like if I had like an AI assistant and I could just be like, catch me up. And it could be like, you were liquidated on this. You were like, and then just goes to this. I'm like, oh, okay. You need to add collateral here. Your mom's birthday's tomorrow. You got to do like,
Dude, this
it'd
is
be
what I was
incredible.
waiting for from you. I thought that this was like a dream.
It
Like
is a
you've
dream
talked
for
about
me.
like this is all
I
you've
talked
ever
about
wanted.
this with you.
This is all you've ever wanted.
So
Yes.
I think Steven wants this, but he looks at the Humane AI pin is like looks like Zune and the Pebble watch and like every thing, every device that's had $100 million behind it, then did get 100 users. It just feels like that.
Well,
so
I'm just trying to look beyond the demo and like, oh, well, this demo is crappy because of XYZ reason. And just like when we talked about the Vision Pro, I looked at it and I was like, I love the idea that it's trying to break us away from like the keyboard and mouse paradigm, right? And the staring at a screen paradigm. I know it's like kind of a different kind of screen, but it's like an iteration from it, right? And I love the idea that like behind this, the idea was, oh, we need to break away from the screen. Why do you hold something up to your face and touch it? And I think that's great. Now, I think Armand's point about it being less intuitive and is like absolutely true. I think like one of the greatest arguments in favor of iPads and everything is like if you put them in front of like a 3-year-old, they're like,
they know exactly.
know exactly what to do. Like if you put the Humane pin in front of a 3-year-old, they'll probably swallow it and you have to take it to the hospital. Like you have no idea what to do. Right?
Can we talk about the part about being away from the screen? Because I find this interesting. So I think that's a cool goal. Like you get people away from the screen more, not completely away. And I don't know what the intent is behind it. Maybe it's like bring a little more humanity.
No, I
into
don't think
our
it has
lives?
anything to do with that. I think this is about solving a technology problem. The problem that exists is that my brain, is like your brain, your processing of your brain is a lot faster than your thumb's ability to transmit the message and the contents of your brain to your phone. And by removing that medium, and you become more of a full cyborg. So the whole idea here is to become a full cyborg. And that integration of technology and humane, I think is the idea here. And voice is a much more rapid, and even like the way, let's just stick with voice. Like voice is just a much more rapid approach to the integration back and forth of like listening and talking allows you to do everything much more rapidly. And so that begins to like break down that bandwidth problem that exists between your mind and the technology.
Yeah, there's a context
and the faster that becomes, and the bigger that highway becomes, the bandwidth becomes, the more we advance. Because if we don't solve that problem, that's how AI leaves us behind. Because then AI becomes this extremely intelligent force, this super intelligence that we're not able to actually tap into. The whole idea is that we need to find ways to tap directly into the intelligence. The next step is voice. And if you can begin to trust it, to the earlier points, and know that it's making the best decision for you because it's so hyper personalized to you. You know, like if you go to Amazon, the reason that Steve and I do the same thing, it's like, oh, okay, please buy me that supplement. And I tell Alexa, and then I'm like, and it says like, do you want to buy it now or add it to cart? I'm like, yeah, maybe just add it to cart so I can compare it to a couple other things. And then I go back later and I compare. I'm like, oh yeah, I found a better one. I prefer this supplement because it doesn't have seed oils in it. And I look into details, right? But if you know that it's doing that for you very well, you'll stop that need to go and have a UI and a screen to go and compare the pictures and the ingredients because it knows to do that.
By the way, next time you go to a friend's house that has Alexa, when they're not in the room, just tell Alexa, order Astroglide. And it's great when it shows
That's
up
a
a
great
week later
little
and they're
hack.
so confused why
That's hilarious.
a carton of Astroglide shows up.
That's hilarious.
But like in terms of
See what
trust,
I'm saying though? Like,
yeah, like I don't know. I think the humane pin does more to erode trust than to build it. So with my humane pin, probably builds trust. But if I show up to this conversation and I have this pin on,
yeah,
and you
I
guys all
wouldn't-
show up like,
I wouldn't even.
whoa, you get the gun drawn, brother. Like, what,
Yeah.
we recording? Are you videoing? And it's got this light that shows you it's on, but like, fuck that.
Wait,
For
don't you
now.
think that's just inevitably
Temporary.
going to be a normal thing?
Exactly.
I don't
It's
know, man.
temporary.
I agree.
Everyone's going to freak out. And then you're just going to know you're being recorded. And everyone's going to legally record you. And then it becomes such a huge consequence to illegally record somebody and try to blackmail them and do all these things that you get slapped. Like there will be all these cases where people get slapped so bad for doing stuff like that. And then there will be all this like fake stuff, right? Where like, did that person really say that type stuff? But then technology will allow us to identify like what is actually true versus what is not. So like there's the nihilist that wants to say like, well, we're just going to forget what is true and we're never going to know what's
do you
real.
think that like
But technology is going to enable us in the other direction,
so
actually.
like, I don't know, what, 10, 20 years, forget the timeline, but in the future, will kind of like constant recording be the norm
Oh,
where
we're like a
audio
year
visual-
away from that.
We're
dude.
already like
We're doing it.
if you go like if you hang out with like young people, right? Oh God, am I old? Younger people, they record everything.
I love
Record
that.
the youths, the youths. They record everything and they put it on TikTok. Like everything is like I was watching some stupid horror movie that came out that everybody said was good, but that I didn't like.
There are no good horror movies.
I know, that's what I said.
There
That's
are
what I
no
said.
good horror movies.
Thank you. We agree on something.
Anyway, it was a very like Zoomer-esque horror movie, and like they're doing this crazy thing where they're like touching this hand and it possesses them, and like she goes to touch the hand, and there's like 30 people in the room, and they just like all pull out their phone and they're just live streaming it to TikTok, and it's just normal, right?
Super normal.
That's just one step removed from what Nick's saying, where just
Right.
everything's recorded all the time, and I think people are just going to keep getting used to it.
Yeah, I don't
and
have to
keep
pull
getting
my
used
phone in
to
my
it.
pocket. I push a button, I'm recording, lights on, and you're just going to get so used to it. Like you guys saw the Rewind necklace, right? Everyone's going to be wearing little devices that record everything they say and do.
It sounds
and
like an
everyone around them.
authoritarian's wet dream.
It is.
It is, yeah.
Like
It is. We just have to make sure we don't fall into like a 1984 society.
But you can't. I mean, if there's a device, whether it's local or in a server, that has a recording that could potentially have evidence, you give it up.
But that's why we talked about like how one of the weird backdoor use cases for crypto could end up being like data,
Yeah.
and, like privacy.
But you're talking about
storage,
attestations, like I attest this was me who recorded this video, or I attest that like yes, I was part of this recording.
I'm just saying there just might be a way for you to know where all of your data is, to have control over it, to know that like, you know, in a different way than it is now, where everything is just
It doesn't give me delete rights.
My basic
you know?
belief is that technology creates one problem and then solves it. Right? Every problem that technology creates, future technology solves that problem.
Yeah, I
and
mean-
it just iterates forward in that direction over and over and over again.
You don't think? Do you think people have kind of the same perception that Tyler had? He said, "My first thought was that it reminded me of a cop body cam, like on them, right?
Yeah,
And
cop
Yeah.
body cams seem overwhelmingly positive though.
by the authoritarians.
I don't. Yeah.
Keeps them in check.
Yeah, I don't know.
I like them. I like cop body cams.
Yeah.
I like
For
to
that scenario, but do you want it in our personal conversations? I mean, yeah, we have 4 mics here, but like,
No, I hate that idea. To clarify, I hate the idea that you might be out to drinks with somebody and they might be recording you. Like that is terrifying. And like, especially in a cancel culture society, are you kidding me? Like you'll never have the freedom to speak freely again for a while. For a while. Everything always will just like over-index toward being like bad for a while, and
Yeah.
all the overreaction happens.
Pendulum
and
swing.
All the the pendulum will swing, and the media will go nuts about it. But then it will find an equilibrium where it becomes normalized. But for sure, we're going to go through hell in the beginning with
Okay,
this.
so what you just said there, although it sounds logical to me and everybody who is listening, sounded to me like conversations that I had with my dad in like 1997 and like 3 weeks ago about like why he didn't want to use it. I'm never going to put my credit card on the internet. I'm not going to sign up for anything. They're collecting all of my data and somebody's going to use that data against me. Isn't it just the same thing? But it's just like, well, no, it's not the same thing. This is different.
Yeah, I think
because
that's what
of
he's saying.
this.
It's the same thing.
But doesn't that just mean like it's not the same and it's just a thing that will get normalized and we'll get?
I mean, that's what Kevin Kelly's book, you know, we had him on the pod for people that don't know. And we talked a little bit about this, but like the inevitable, the whole thesis of the book, The Inevitable, is about the technological forces that are inevitable, and privacy is out the window. He's like,
nothing.
there's no like privacy. Like, stop trying to fight for a world where there's privacy. Like, just forget about it. It's
Man,
not a
this, like-
fight worth fighting, is his point.
we already have mediocre politicians, but this just makes sure we have some of the dumbest motherfuckers in office. Because like if everyone's recorded, it's already tough enough for someone to get elected office. And any like, you know, high intellect person, high, you know, achieving person's like, yeah, I don't want to be in office, because they take the worst of what you've ever done in your entire life and make it you, make it your identity.
Yeah.
And that's with just social media. Imagine fully recorded like conversations, interactions.
Right. You'll have
like,
no safe zone.
There's no safe zone.
Actually, there will be these. I was talking to my, who was I talking about this? Is it Erica? And it was like you'll go to these like retreat centers, you know, where it's like it's a safe haven. Like you'll be able to escape
Like a
it.
SIF where, like,
everyone
you-
has to turn in their tech, and like you walk into like some garden in Japan, and it's like this retreat center, and there's no recording and there's no tech.
Wow.
And like it'll
Bullish
be sick.
those.
Yeah,
Wait,
very
but
bullish those.
What if we take Nick's example to the absolute extreme? Because I think Nick's example works where there's still like, it only works because there's still information asymmetry. What if there's no asymmetry? What if everybody literally knows everything about everybody else?
Loses
Like,
its meaning, right?
A super like extreme scenario where I know everything you've ever done, ever thought. I know what you did, like, and everybody knows that about everybody.
Then it's better, maybe.
Loses
I think-
its-
Yeah, like back people are going to be like, "Oh, you because you probably did something crazy, and you know what everybody knows about you, and they know." And then it's just like
I
this-
agree with that. And an example of this was like when Jay Powell at his most recent stage appearance, you know, those like environmental
the climate
protesters,
protesters?
the climate protesters came on
Shut the
stage and he's
fucking
like,
door.
just shut the fucking door. And like that was a moment where I think people actually admired him. They're like, oh, he's actually like a normal human being, and they like kind of empathized with Jay Powell in this moment because they actually like seeing the reality to a degree. So I think you're right, where it's like the pendulum swings back the other way, where it's like if you can see people for who they are with full transparency, then like the smart people who are doing less crazy shit.
Yeah, it kind of humanizes. If you get to the point where it almost humanizes everyone, like, oh, every hand has touched a penis at some point, and once you cross that horizon,
Every hand?
yeah, every hand,
I mean, maybe your own.
exactly.
Okay, just clarifying.
Every
But like
hand.
every hand,
Every hand.
and once everyone's like, okay, we've all done that, and then you just cross that moment, and you're like, all right, well, it's not so bad. Like, yeah, it's okay that the senator watches porn.
There are women that have not touched a. Okay, I'm finding some
All right.
gaps in this.
But you get my point.
Yes.
Is Tom Nom in the chat? I need him to weigh in.
No, I like that. I like that perspective.
But once you maybe.
By
once
the
you
way,
reach
that
point,
made me
but it's
think-
going to be excruciating to get there.
Yeah, like what if everybody had to walk around on Earth, had to walk around for a day with a shirt that like just had like the 10 worst things they've ever Googled?
Yeah.
Just everybody.
Yeah.
And then also everybody was on Molly at the same time.
Where'd that come from?
Open-hearted acceptance.
Like the whole, I'm just like the whole world. Maybe the next day everybody just lays down their guns. Everybody comes together. Be a radical social experiment. Be
Well-
hard to get the opt-in though.
There was an interesting conversation Elon was having with. Did you guys hear the Elon and Lex interview? I'm like,
I only
heard-
saw a
I
clip
heard
of it.
clips.
No.
yeah. There was one discussion they were having about war. Like, do you guys believe, like, as technology just continues to improve the world, that we can be like in a actual, like, you know, when people always like they ask the beauty contestants, like, what do you want to see in the world, and they're like,
Naps.
world peace. Like, do you guys want world peace? Do you believe in world peace? Like, do you think that benevolent AI can help us create a world with peace?
Did Lex ask
Is
that?
that?
Of
I mean, since you didn't listen to it, I won't go into their version of it. I'll just ask you. You know.
Okay, so
Oh my God! It's like you sent the bat signal. It's like the bat signal.
chat is Tom Nom.
Tom Nom is
Nom
in
nom
the
nom.
chat.
he's entered the chat. Yep,
Oh my
we're all
God!
penis touchers. We all acknowledge that. All right.
Oh man.
At least within this group, it's all we've crossed that.
Oh, that was
horizon.
so good. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
These are the reasons. If you're just listening, you need to tune into the YouTube.
need to be live.
You need to be live. You need to catch the recording at the very least.
Oh, I'm crying.
So yeah, what do you guys think about that?
Do I believe in world peace?
Steven can't even handle a conversation right now.
You said world peace, and I almost said world penis.
I know you did. All right, forget
Somebody
that.
else answer Armand's
No,
question.
just forget it. Fuck world peace.
I don't want to forget about it.
Can I maybe switch it a little bit, but stay on the AI
No.
train?
Yes.
So, have you guys tried the voice interaction with GPT? Like the
Yeah,
voice
yeah,
only, like
all the time.
where you don't have to press a button anymore. You just hit.
You just have
a
ongoing
conversation.
conversations.
It
yeah.
is.
So what is that, through mobile or is
Yeah,
it
mobile only.
mobile only? Okay.
Yeah. So first you sign on to Prodigy or AOL, and then anyway, whatever your preferred sign on to the internet
Prodigy.
is, Eric.
Wow. Forgot about
Prodigy.
that was even too old for me to even get the joke.
Netscape, Navigator.
Damn.
You wait for the
Net-zero.
dial-up song to go over, and then you connect to the all-knowing voice.
Be
But
like, Tina, get off the phone.
Did you guys do like the credit whoring like of the internets? Like
credit
Net Zero, and like there was all these like
Oh,
free
the AOL
internet
discs.
offers,
Yeah,
cancel,
just
free internet
free
for a
discs
month.
everywhere.
Yeah, I had
The
discs everywhere.
CD-ROMs just lying around
Yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah, I had a whole system for that.
I was in stock chat rooms, like running around my dad, like, it says buy iOmega. Like, the guy in the chat room says to buy. Like, what are you doing sitting here? Like,
Oh my God.
Anyway, so Eric, it's on the GPT mobile app, and you just hit the voice button, and it's a conversation. There's no like start stop of when you record, when you don't.
Didn't
You
I
just-
do it last week on the pod?
Oh yeah, but we weren't paying attention, remember?
Wait, what happened?
Wow,
Exactly.
true disrespect.
Anyway,
We kept
I
talking
need to be
over
here
you.
to defend your honor.
Yeah.
We kept
more
talking
often.
over you and you're like, wait guys, and then we just kept talking.
Yeah.
Guys, I just don't remember things.
I
No
know because you weren't paying
disrespect.
attention.
That's a
That's the
cop
point.
out.
No, even when I pay attention, I don't remember.
Well, you need to have a voice assistant.
I need a pin glued to me recording
But,
everything
like,
that happens in my life.
I will
do.
say, like, to dive into a topic with a, let's call a semi-omnipotent voice in your ear, like in your AirPods, and walk down the street, and just kind of have a topic like, hey, I want to learn about, this topic. Cool. Here's an overview. What do you want to know? And it's really a back and forth
Yeah,
of
it's a
like,
real time back and forth conversation.
and you could choose your voice. There's
You
like
can have
6
it for like 15 minutes.
You keep go on
can just
for
keep going.
hours. And it's the most efficient way, I think, to learn something because you like stop. That's not what I want to know. I want you to like be more specific about this
Yeah.
question right now. And like, what a way to level up your speed learning
Very
about a
underutilized.
specific topic. And so, I don't know, I've been trying to use it more often, throw in the AirPods, click the button, and then just start.
It's a different modality, right? So it doesn't really work when you're just doing searches or trying to get a specific piece of information or, when you're, whatever, right? It works for certain moments. And other moments, you really just want the text.
Phenomenal for learning language. I was like, how do I say hello in Thai? And it was like, Sawasti. And I was like, okay, cool. I'm going to say it back. Can you correct me and make sure I have it right? They're like, yeah, go ahead. And 4 times it was like, no, you don't have it right. At the end of your sentence, you're
way.
saying this a little incorrectly.
I thought it was sawatika.
Yeah. If feminine,
Wait, why does everybody speak Thai?
Sawatika.
yeah, we all speak
We've
Thai.
been there.
Somebody caught if you're
You guys all learned Thai without me?
Yeah, dude.
But anyway, it was phenomenal in like
there.
correcting the intonation
Wow.
of how you pronounced it. And I was like, this is Duolingo like on
Kapkun
steroids.
ka, Pad Kaprao guy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
I miss that. Oh, I want Pad Kaprao guy with the egg on top.
Oh man, in Thai, that ka sound of all the feminine, all females or
Yeah.
any feminine person in Thailand, it's just like this
Ka.
it's like this tempo to the language
Yeah.
that sticks with you. Like
It
the whole
does.
flight home, I was just like telling Yessie, like, I was making jokes the whole flight home. It was just stuck in my head.
Is Thailand still cheap? Like, is it still
yeah.
like? Because
Depends where you stay, my friend.
Well, because when I went there, 15 years ago, I was like, oh my god. The answer to everything
All right,
was yes.
This is how you gauge it. How much is a street
15
pad thai?
years ago.
Well, I didn't go on the street in Thailand this
Dude,
week.
I was
What?
getting pad Thai for a
Naked
quarter
street
US
food.
dollars.
Yeah, 30 baht
man.
was on my last trip.
Yeah, so I think it was like
30
50
baht.
cents for like a
50
street.
cents?
Like, I went 2012.
Yeah, but I mean now.
Now I don't know. Couldn't tell you. I could tell you what resort.
You weren't allowed to enter the street.
Yeah.
I can tell you a Michelin
Security kept
star.
you
Didn't
Oh.
leave the Four Seasons.
Okay, when I was there, it was, 30 baht.
Which was like
A dollar.
in
A couple
US.
bucks. Yeah, $1.
dollar.
Dollar.
Okay.
30 baht at the time was exchange was $1. I don't know what it is
And
now.
if you're like even an inkling hungry at all, you just pass by one of these pad Thai carts
For
and
the
you're like,
best pad
yeah,
thai
fuck,
I've
I'll
ever
take a
had.
bite. You're like, it's
Or you
worth
get the
it.
chicken satay, the skewers
yeah.
right off the cart. Oh,
Yeah. It's
so
unbelievable.
good.
There's just like food everywhere.
Dude, Bhutanese food, by the way, spicy as hell. And
Spicier than like Thai spices.
is it
Yes.
like Thailand meets India?
yes,
Like
with
food-wise,
different
cuisine?
stuff. Like there's like different cuisine where like they had this dish where it was like peppers mixed with like a cheesy kind of like sauce. And this thing was like I don't know, imagine level 10 out of 10 at your local Indian restaurant. And so you
Which is
went to-
already unbearable, by the
yeah,
way.
unbearable. And you go to these restaurants and you either get the 10 out of 10 or 0 out of 10. And I was like, why am I getting different things? And so I asked the hotel, I'm like, why'd you give us the non-spicy version? And their food is so spicy that they know when they have visitors, because there's only visitors in Bhutan. You can't like get a visa to stay there and live there. They're so cautious about the spiciness level. They just take the spice out for anyone who's not Bhutanese. And yeah.
So, I mean, now we've pivoted into this. I think the world wants to know what your trip was like.
Yeah.
Buried the lead.
So I think the most thing that talked about on this trip before I went was the flight from Nepal
Right.
into Bhutan. So Nepal, first of all, insane, like incredibly dense, like intensity at all points.
It's like a downtown. Like,
Kathmandu is dense,
okay.
very dense. Like you're like, oh, it's foggy out today. Like, no, that's just the pollution hovering over everywhere that you see and breathe all the time. I think I sent you guys a chat GPT Bourdain in Bourdain's voice of it. And he encapsulated a perfect part of it. Imagine just like street vendors and like raw food and cooked food mixed with the smoke that comes out of a motorbike, like mixed together. And that's what Kathmandu smells like. You're rolling the street, you smell food and just like straight of exhaust.
The imagery there is
mixed
so
together.
Good. I like that.
And there was some kind of holiday going on. Oh, and my animal loving Yessie loved this part. But there was we ran across several goat sacrifices because there was a holiday, and part of this holiday it's phasing out, but they were
like on the street
yeah
in the open.
Like we were in a little tuk-tuk, like navigating inches away from cars and trucks and bikes like going by us, and then you just stumble onto like this wooden like wheelbarrow thing with a flatbed kind of situation with a full goat on it. And I'm like, whoa, what the fuck? I'm like, why are we seeing all these dead goats? Like, oh, it's a holiday.
Dead goats about
Holiday. It's like a
celebration.
It's a celebration. And she's like, well, what do they sacrifice? Sometimes sacrifice dogs and
gnarly.
yeah. So she looks over at me and is like, why did you bring me here?
What are we
like,
doing?
did you get your like unknown, like fix? Because
Little
like
explorer.
we're in it, Anyway, so we spent 2 days there, and on the flight, it's one of the most dangerous flights to take in. You're weaving in throughout, and of course, like everything happens when you travel, you hear the danger parts of it, but no one tells you on the way. You get a level eye view of Everest.
Oh, I want that.
And I sent you guys pictures of it.
Yeah, I want that.
And they don't tell you that part, that on that flight, you get to see at your eye level Everest, and it's close. It's not like this thing way in the
Does it
distance.
stand alone? Like, is it sort of unique, or are all those
It's
mountains?
not like Kilimanjaro with its own, standalone mountain. It's part of a mountain range, and from the airplane, it just looks like there's this little pyramid that's a little higher than the others. And the captain like stops. He's like, "Hey guys, important moment. I want to call out. Like,
Look out
this
to your
Everest."
left. Yeah.
Yeah. And even in the like in flight where they tell you how to exit the aircraft, the next page is like, here's the mountain range that you're going to see. So you can make sure you can identify all the things. So all the top peaks are there. And so we're like flying in, and I look over to the right, and the stewardess is sitting on the right to balance out the plane. And she does one of these like little prayer things, like to her head and her chest.
She's praying that you guys land safely.
And I look over, I give her this look like, what the fuck? And she's like, come over here, sit with me. And so I sit next to her, and she's like, we're going to take some crazy turns, and we're going to go right over the mountain. And so, yeah, it was a kind of crazy.
That's rad.
You're right next to the mountain when you land. But anyway, Bhutan is this like unspoiled, the most unspoiled place on earth I think I've been. I think there's some parts of Africa that rival how
What do you mean by
unspoiled it is.
unspoiled?
I mean, imagine
No Starbucks?
definitely no Starbucks. I mean, not even fast food in general. No, none of that. No coffee. I mean, there's coffee shops, but it's like the local mom and pop. Maybe. I mean, not really.
No coffee?
I mean, there's coffee, but like you just make it at home. There's no stores to go through in a farmer village. But imagine a country that's literally moving out of agricultural economy, and they don't even go to these like intermediary steps. They go straight to like modern economy. So you have like people our age who they still wear traditional dress. It's a country that's very much trying to hold on to their culture.
And what does that look like? Is that like a
kind of like a gown, I guess, with some high socks, but like almost like kilt-ish setup. And if you go to work, you have to wear the traditional dress. So if you're working, you wear it. If you're walking the streets, you can wear quote unquote Western clothes. And the group that's our age is still very much traditional, but the younger
This is which city?
in Bhutan.
In Bhutan, the whole country.
I mean, we went to a few cities in Bhutan. We went to the western part, went to three different cities, but most of the country is straight up
All right.
agricultural villages with no sense of like a city center.
Yeah.
I mean, we went to the capital, and the center of the capital is like a little square and one street where there's some shops, and that's it. And then the further you go out, it's just like less and less and less. They were harvesting the rice at that point of the year. That was like the big thing going on. I don't know. Some highlights of the trip for me were we got into these temples, and you can't take your phone in some of these temples and take pictures. And our guide, and everyone who goes to Bhutan gets a guide, and there were these ceremonies going on, just happened to be ceremonies going on while we're in these temples. And the monks who were actively living there, practicing there, they're doing these ceremonies. And I heard this chant that like was hypnotizing. It's called like a throat chant. So if you search for like Tibetan or Bhutanese like throat chanting on Spotify, you'll hear what it sounds like.
These are the ones where they can like sing the two note, like the harmonics.
It's
like
straight
two
out of
notes
Dune.
at the same
like
time.
if the voice that comes out of Dune, it's like that. And so you enter this temple, which, you know, it's a Buddhist country, and, you know, they're not about like their possessions, but you enter and it's like gold, just the most intricate temple you could ever imagine, like every detail. And it's been around longer than our country's been around. And, you know, my guide was like, hey, do you guys like to meditate? We're like, yeah, we do. And he's like, cool, well, why don't you sit next to the monk and just sit quietly, don't bother him, but like do your thing. And we always got in before we got in early. And so we had these moments where there was no tourists, the monks doing their chanting, doing their things. We sat there for like 20 minutes, meditated all while they're doing their chanting. And then you open your eyes and there's like just like enormous like Buddhist statues, like all kinds of statues and tributes and things like that. I don't know. That was like a big experience for me. And, you know, you can ask the boys, the monks to pray. So I gave a little bull market. Can you pray
you
for the bull market?
Man.
Yeah,
It's working.
Yeah, it's working.
Appreciate that, buddy.
I tried out some yak, ate some yak.
The animal?
The animal. Had the original bulletproof coffee where David Asprey got it from it. It was the tea with the yak butter. If you want to know what it tastes like, imagine taking a stick of butter, melting it in a cup, and drinking that.
It's melted butter.
It's melted butter. And you're like, oh, I understand why you don't have to eat for the next 8 hours after drinking like a cup full of butter. I don't know. Those are a few of the highlights. Like at the end of these trips, I put together a list of like gratitude moments, because there's so many moments in these trips where you have that you want to remember, and I write them down. And then
What was your girlfriend's favorite highlight?
Thank
yeah,
you.
so we went to Thailand. I waited till the
I
very.
know it wasn't one of yours. It sounds like.
So we went
What's
to.
going on? Burying it here.
Yeah.
Let's get.
Yeah, so we went to Thailand and waited to the very end of the trip, and she made an honest man out of me, man.
Oh.
So we got engaged during the trip.
Paint the picture.
In
Paint the
Thailand.
picture for
He dropped on a
everybody.
knee.
Yeah, so
My boy got down.
It's 12 days into a 15-day trip. We get to a new place, beach area, do a little massage situation. We walk towards the beach to do a little dinner on the beach situation. And
Beautiful
she's like,
setup.
"Hey, do I need to do I need to put makeup on?" I'm like, nah, whatever. Meanwhile, I'm like ironing my shirt. I'm like, you're fine. You're fine. And we walk out there and. They set up a whole thing, and there were 2 photographers literally hiding inside of the bushes. And so, I wasn't nervous all the way until about 15 minutes, and I got a little wobbly. And I was telling you guys, I kind of blacked out during it.
You don't remember what you said at all.
I don't remember if she even said yes. Like, I remember I was like, okay, I'm going to say 3 lines. I'm going to say I love you. I'm going to say I'm something to the effect of like,
More than that is a lot.
I'm excited to like be together forever, something to that effect. And then I think when it came to like, will you marry me? It just came out like, and like, because she started crying and I was like on the verge of tears. I couldn't speak. And I don't know. I don't remember most of it. Like you told me, Armand, like, you
great.
just black out, dude.
It totally happens. Yeah. Yeah. You have like all this stuff planned, and then the most you can get out is just the "will you marry me" part. By the time
I
it's
could barely
time.
get that thing out.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it barely came out of my mouth.
Yeah.
And, she was stoked because caught her off guard because it was at the end of the trip and she thought it was like, well, it's not going to happen this trip. No big deal.
Motherfucker, I told you to not wait that
No,
long.
it worked perftaking.
No, she was
I didn't
fucking
play into her
scared.
hands.
She was scared. She
Been
wanted
lulling
this
her
thing.
into a false sense of complacency. It's taking her on like
I was
7
like-
different trips.
I was like laughing because I just thought how like diabolical it was to wait to the end of the trip. I thought it was a great joke. And-
He
Mr.
likes
Burns.
to make you earn it, man. I told him the same thing for the record.
oh no, he sent me like, hey man, we didn't get a chance to talk.
I had a
but I
whole
just want to
thing.
have a little one-on-one, me to you, like man-to-man advice. My advice is to you: you need to pull the trigger as soon as possible on this trip. And he gave me like 7 reasons
Dude.
on why
yeah.
to do it.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, understood,
You had a
heard.
plan.
Yeah.
You had a plan.
Thank you for your suggestions.
Yeah, no, I knew that. Also, I knew there was a 98% chance he wasn't going to
But I
change the
appreciate
plan.
that you were so concerned. Like,
But,
I want this to be a good experience for you, and you gave me like
I mean,
some.
you were going to have a great experience regardless.
Yeah.
I just wanted you to have more time on the high on vacation after. Because as you saw, it is like incredible what it does for the girl. Like they are bouncing and flying on clouds afterward.
I mean, like, so we did the proposal. The photographers came out. We did a ton of awesome photography right there for 45 minutes, and we get back because we planned a dinner. And I'm like, I'm starving, and I'm just like scarfing, and she can't eat because she's just so excited. She's like, I'm not even hungry anymore.
you're trying
Like,
to
I
get the
didn't-
blood flow back.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like all the blood's at my feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, it was amazing
Oh,
for
that's
her, and
amazing.
she's still excited. And the ring was a hit. So
That's great.
yeah.
Did you pick the ring all by your lonesome, or was that guided by maybe a family member?
Also, part of the long con was like I think we picked out this ring like a year and a half ago.
Dude, I know you did.
Yeah,
That was a
we
long
went
time
out
ago.
and she was like, "Wow, I really like this one." And so I went back like a couple weeks later and I was like, "I want that one, but make the rock a little bigger." And I kept it for like a long time in
It's
the
a long time.
yeah. And I was just waiting for the right moment. So anyway,
Probably gave up on it. That's,
I guarantee she did.
if 3 days into this trip he didn't propose, she was like, "That's it."
Are you
It's
supposed
done.
to do it at the beginning? Is that a thing?
No, the point is she's expected
He's
at the
kept her
last
waiting
like,
for
5
ages.
trips.
Oh, I know that part. yeah.
Okay. Well, no, the
it's
reason
been 8
that
years.
I don't know why you said it, but the reason, one of my 7 reasons of doing it in the beginning of the trip was so that the rest of the trip basically felt like a honeymoon experience. That was kind of the idea.
Yeah, and I know that we all know that she's like thinking about it throughout. So
Right.
like when you keep her just fucking waiting, she's like then she starts to doubt it and it
Burns
gets
is
weird.
enjoying it though. He's enjoying
Fucking Mr. Burns. Mr.
So like
Burns.
every trip
You
we
want
go,
this, don't you? You would like a ring, wouldn't you?
Probably made the
burning a
actual
hole.
moment better for her though. Like if she was just like really on the verge of like, I give up.
well, so there's always a moment around 9 days where she just like, no matter how cool a trip is, wants to get home to the dog. She misses her dog so much, wants to get home. So it provided a little second wind
Okay.
to the sails,
Oh.
the trip.
See, the algo, he finds a way.
Yeah, right. 9 days.
He considered
calculates
things, you know.
it,
He
calculates
considered
the days.
things that
But
we're,
yeah,
just-
yeah.
we're outside of our focus areas.
Can we get a cheers for
Yeah, man.
our boy?
Yeah.
Cheers,
our
boys.
friend?
Congratulations.
Thank you for your guidance and your friendship. Absolutely. Happy to celebrate with you guys.
Well, the only non-engaged.
Damn. I mean, I
now
wasn't gonna, I wasn't
now
gonna
the
say it,
pressure's
but,
really
you know,
on.
I'm just a single bachelor over here.
Yeah. You
Complete
got,
freedom.
yeah.
Okay, so I suggest start on a trip with dead goats and then, go
Wait
from
at
there.
least 8 years.
8 years. As many trips as possible to just numb the response.
Pretty much.
My point is like, if you're in it for life, what's the hurry?
That's our version of the story,
Correct.
not theirs.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I said until I started hearing it from family. I was like, "Oh, my family never says anything." They're like pressuring me.
You
This
guys
is
were like,
weird.
what's wrong with your knee? I'm like, what do you mean? You're like, it won't bend. And I'm like, fuck you guys.
That was a good one.
Yeah. Like, something's wrong with your knee. I'm like, wait, does it look funny? I'm like, no, it just won't bend down.
When you get nervous, what are you nervous? Are you just have generalized anxiety, or do you like think they're going to say no?
No,
Or
no,
what is
it's
it?
not about that. It's just like the significance of the moment. Like, she's going to say yes. And it's just like, this moment is like really impactful. Like,
Steven, just
Look at
do
him
it
talking like an
and,
old vet now.
You know,
Fascinating.
just do it.
well, when
and
I
you'll
did it
find
back
out.
in my day. But no, I think it is that. And like for me, I just wanted to go perfectly for her. Like, I just wanted to be like special for her and all that.
I believe that there's only 2 things that they care about. Maybe more will come up as but the number 1 thing by far they care about is photos.
Yep.
And the number 2 thing they care about is that they look the way they intended to look for those photos.
Okay. 1 out of 2.
Gotta get the
They
nails
just
done, right?
want to make
You have
sure
good nails?
that they got the photo and the outfit and the nails were done and all that, and that's it. I mean, she was on a trip. That's fine.
But
That's-
she
you're
did
fine.
she did kind of fly the flag out like, so we're leaving on Tuesday. Oh, so I'll get my nails done on Monday
Yeah, they
to make
think
sure
about
they're
those things.
proper. I was like,
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. How long do nails hold up after 12 days?
Yeah, you should get him done.
So you guys are playing this like game of chicken, kind of, where it's just like That's like the whole thing.
I mean, you did. You waited 6 years. You didn't wait that long.
7 for me.
7 years.
But we also met. Like I was 24.
You guys were young.
like you have to get the ring with them, so they kind of know it's coming.
Yeah, I think
But then it's just like a game of.
Don't you guys
Mine
think it's?
didn't know I bought a ring or
So
anything.
I asked,
Oh,
I
I
asked
like that. That's even-
Mina's sister for
Mine was
guidance.
a full surprise.
Oh, and did she know
She
the
knew
alpha?
She knew exactly
Like
everything.
the cut, everything?
Everything.
Oh, whoa.
That's
Yeah.
so helpful.
Yeah. And she kept it all a secret. Like I so much props.
I had to design
Mina's
the
sister.
whole thing. Like,
But you
that's
didn't know it all.
so
Oh, yeah, we
zero
talked about
guidance.
this.
Zero
You're like, bro, I don't
guidance.
know.
I would start out like, "What do you want? Anything. You decide. You decide. You decide." I was like, "What?"
And I remember
That's too much
like,
pressure.
dude, I could tell her I'm starting a ring e-commerce site and like ask her which ring she likes. We could like come up with a scam to figure out which ring she likes. And you're like, I'll just figure it out, dude.
Yeah, I went full surprise mode. She didn't want to know a thing. I didn't even have a size. I just had to overestimate the size too, and then adjust it afterward.
But she knew it was
So-
coming because you had talked about it.
I mean, in
Eventually.
a extremely general way,
Yeah.
like that we're gonna get married one day, but didn't
Did
know there
you
was a
did you
proposal
and Mina talk about marriage before you did it, or just
We
like,
we of course esoterically talked about it,
Yeah,
meaning like we
okay.
want to be married. But like it was a full surprise when I proposed to her.
yeah, you did solid.
Whoa! We got a problem in the chat here, Tyler. 10 years. That's not gonna work, brother.
Tyler, 10
I know.
years.
I think if you
put
go
I put the pressure in the
past-
family straight on
Tyler, you
shoulders.
can't go past 10. You can't be an 11-year.
But he also
guy.
started younger, like you did.
I don't know. Did he?
I think it's
Yeah.
in the genes.
Did he say so?
Tyler's your
No, no.
cousin, right?
Yeah, he is.
in the
Oh.
genes.
Excuse me. There we go. Tyler Lilly, of
That
course.
explains it.
Yeah, so it's
How-
maybe it's in the
how-
genes.
do we know?
I think maybe Tyler. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think 20 years old when they.
Oh, you're
20-ish.
fine. You're fine.
Yeah, so they're good.
I recoil my statement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, boys.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I
Very big.
appreciate everyone.
Steven, let's get going, buddy. Pressure's on. You like his face right now?
Yeah, I'm just looking at the face right now.
I'm just
Because
gonna
I
bring
know
this
the
up every episode.
only significant other that listens to the podcast is Stevens.
We have to be. Oh God, great. Hi, Amber.
Amber and Mina were watching together the other night.
And Amber's like nodding, like a Jack Nicholson.
Mina
yes, meme.
Mina watched. Yeah, I think Amber was the influencer on that one. Amber's our most dedicated listener.
Probably. Yeah, we should say hi, Amber, more often.
Hi, Amber.
Hi, Amber.
All right, boys. I think it's a good place to wrap it.
Yes.
Cool.
a great
Well,
place.
reminder of the announcements. If you want to play a little NFT collectible game, I'm going to play some. Feel free to jump in the Discord, play some
Newsletter.
newsletter, opt in, get some free Z-Biotics.
Oh, we should
What
talk
else?
about the other pod too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're gonna get people over to it. So we're starting to launch the other pod on my YouTube so that we can separate some
What's
of the
the name of the
hardcore
pod?
money myths. Irresponsibly long for those.
Where you'll
of
find
you
all
who've
your
been-
money needs.
Yes, all of your good and terrible advice all in one place at the same time, so you can evaluate. We're gonna get it live on Spotify soon, TM. But
Soon,
for now,
TM.
it's on my YouTube, youtube.com/@Steven Cesaro with a PH. Good luck spelling my name. It's in the description somewhere. But yeah, if you follow there, you'll get that episode. I think we've been doing them live on Thursdays around like 3 p.m. depending on where the
Yeah, that time
wind
is
blows us.
still
time is still up in the
flux.
air. The live is still up in the air. I don't know. We're just kind of winging
Equipment's
it.
got AIDS.
Yeah.
But people have been
figure it all
enjoying it so far, so we're gonna keep doing it. Got a lot to talk about tomorrow. I'm pretty excited. So
Cool. Well, thanks for everyone for hanging out with us to chat. We enjoyed your company throughout the whole episode, as
Thank
we
you,
always
Rectum.
do. Thank you, Rectum.
thank you again,
Special
Rectum.
shout
Thank
out.
you to everybody who bought the inaugural NFTs today. That
If
was
you haven't,
super
go
cool.
buy.
Should we just call them collectibles? Should we not say they're NFTs?
Oh,
Yeah,
Is that a thing?
yeah. I don't know. Yeah, collect digital collect
Memorabilia.
digital memorabilia, digital
Yeah.
merch.
Alfalfa memorabilia.
Whatever,
Okay.
but it feels good. It makes us feel good to see like so much support. It's really cool.
We always knew they wouldn't be called NFTs. NFTs is just the underlying technology. That's all it is.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
All right. Shutting it down for real. Love you guys. Thank you so